All right, Ohio State's got 8. It could have been a whole lot greater than that, but that's a good thing. So we got Marvin Harrison Jr., Mayan Williams, Kate Stover, Matthew Jones. We got Mike Hall Jr., Tommy Eichenberg, Steele Chambers, and Josh Proctor. Kevin, your thoughts about the NFL Combine group?
Yeah, of all the Buckeyes that could have really gone to the Combine with expectations of going, 8 of 9 went. The only one that didn't make the cut was Xavier Johnson. You'll have to wait for Ohio State's Pro Day to kind of show what he is capable of doing in front of NFL personnel. I believe Ohio State had 8 last year, but 365 days ago, I think we were looking at this 24 Combine. It's like, well, there could be 20 Buckeyes there. Well, the year didn't go necessarily as planned, and everybody for the most part has come back. I'm certainly going to be excited to hear all the conversation around Marvin. We've already started to see some of these quote unquote experts really drill into, well, he doesn't do this well, he doesn't do that well, and there's some former NFL scout that's saying, oh, he's like my number 5 receiver on the board, not number 5 prospect on the board, number 5 receiver. I saw another guy came in and say that, he has Marvin second. I think Mike Hall did a lot to better his stock at the Senior Bowl, did not participate in the game. Always of note who works out, who does what. I mean, so you'll have some guys who do the full complement, some guys who are just there to do interviews, and some that'll do bits and pieces as they get poked and prodded. And to the earlier point about Michigan's Hall there, yeah, when you have 44 seniors, and I understand not all of them were necessarily scholarship seniors, but when you have that type of setup there and you win a few damn games, you should probably put a lot of guys in the Combine. But whatever records Michigan is setting here in 24, Ohio State will break in 25, because Ohio State has its own giant bubble of players that will all be hitting their last year of eligibility at about the same time. And I haven't necessarily looked at a roster yet to do a full count, but I'm going to say 20 and a half is going to probably be my without thought over under on what Ohio State puts in the Combine, unless the NFL is really like, whoa, we can't do that. We can't do that. Whoa. And puts a couple guys out on the periphery. But then again, I don't think it's their job necessarily to be the fairness gatekeeper. It's not a case that the Colorado Rockies have to have an all-star player in this game.
I'm looking forward to the Combine as always. This is like 15 or 16 years. I may have missed one of them in the last 15 or 16 years. Been there pretty religiously here in recent years. And it is kind of illuminating, I think, to hear what players have to say about their own draft stock, and then also talking to them about all the guys that Ohio State will have on the team this coming year. They'll be able to talk to a lot of them about a lot of the guys that they played with and the coaches that they played for. And certainly for Michigan, I think there's going to be a lot of questions to those guys, and we'll see how they hold up about what they knew and what the whole setup was with Connor Stallions and how that whole went. They're going to get besieged with those questions, probably. Some of them, at least the quarterback McCarthy, and some of the guys who were, maybe a little closer to the brain trust than just actual players. But so, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of interesting things discussed at this Combine. And I would agree with Kevin. I don't know off the top of my head what the number for Ohio State would be next year. Probably 15, 16, 17. I don't even know. Maybe more. I don't know. I haven't counted it up yet. But going to be a lot of guys. And a lot of that, of course, predicated on how good the Buckeyes do this coming year. So going to be, again, you look at it, Marvin Harrison, he's going in there. Be interested to see if he does anything on field at all, or if he just waits for the Ohio State Pro Day, if he runs, which, a lot of times the top guys don't necessarily run. So it'll be, again, interesting but he seems like a gamer, a guy that really doesn't care. and will go out there and put his best foot forward and knock it out of the park, whatever it is. That's kind of been his MO the entire time, is he didn't care when it was or where it was. He just performed. And I think that, there's a potential for him to maybe do that, depending on what his representatives think, his agents and his dad, what they think he should do. So that'll be a storyline as we get closer to that in a couple of weeks when the combine rolls around. Some other guys hoping to lift their stock. I mean, Mike Hall was kind of banged up the last couple of years, but he did really well at the Senior Bowl. So he's a guy who's probably moving up some draft charts. And if he does well at the combine with his interviews and his on field and his weightlifting and everything else, then maybe he's a guy that moves up. Those two linebackers, Tommy Eichenberg, he ended his career injured. How healthy is he to go through drills and on-field stuff? Steel Chambers, little question, is he an every down guy at the NFL level linebacker? I'm not sure about that. So just a lot of questions, I think, for some of these other guys that are probably second, third, fourth, third day type guys. So I guess we'll see how it all shakes out.
I just ran a bunch of numbers in the old computer. I've got 17 guys, and that's only 2 guys turning pro early, when Quinshon Judkins and Igbinosun.
That's crazy.
So
yeah.
If can anybody else jump forward? Whether it's Sonny Styles or CJ Hicks or one of the 2 defensive ends that aren't starting, like a Caden Curry or Kenyatta Jackson, or Josh Simmons, perhaps, something like that. So that's just a quick accounting of what I had there, but
that's more than any combine I can ever remember for Ohio State.
So it'll be an opportunity for a bunch of guys, assuming all of those guys would get invited, and we will see.
Didn't they have like 12 guys drafted, which was a record for a 7-round draft in 2016? Does that sound right? Like 2 years.
14.
Well, they had the record with the year that Zeke went of having whatever
60.
It was, like 5 in the top, 25 or something, and it was a deep draft. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'll just, for Steve, who's covered a lot of draft or a lot of combines, they'll have 17, 18, 19 guys all at the podium all at the same time, because that's just how these things work.
I believe they had the original record of like 14 after it, that in the 2004 draft following the 2003 season, with all of those guys.
Yeah, from the championship,
I think so. But then that got passed by, I don't know, a handful of years ago,
I think
by
they
an
got
Alabama
tied
or
by,
Georgia.
Yeah, I think it was Miami and Ohio State, and then LSU eclipsed that, and then Georgia is.
And I think Michigan's going to have a pretty big draft, but it's going to be a lot of day 3 guys more than day 1.
They had 14 in the 04 draft, and it was like 12 in that 16 draft. I've got the list in front of me right now. I don't have them like ranked. I just have all, thank you, Wikipedia. I've just got it in front of me.